Morning, folks. Chair here at The View doing the Saturday news slightly different. Won't have time today for edits, so we're just going to do it live. If there are people in chat, we can have a quick chat, but this will be a relatively short one this morning. But just wanted to give you some of the updates on what's been going on with Leeds at the moment. So there's a bit floating around. We'll start off with some information around the 49ers investment. What we're seeing so far over the last couple of weeks have been more and more detail coming out about the 49ers investment and what was likely to happen with Leeds. And the term imminent has been used, which in takeover terms could be anything from 6 months to a year and a half, 18 months, could still be the exact length of time that we are looking at the 2024 deadline. So what we're seeing with this and what's interesting is that some information has come out from financial expert Dean Jones, who has said that some new messages that he has received in line with the 49ers takeovers will be promising for Leeds. The American consortium are planning to push ahead with their takeover bid for Leeds in the summer of 2023, which will be the end of this season. He said it could even happen before then, with the 49ers putting funds aside, which is something similar to what Todd Bowley did when he took over Chelsea. There was the initial investment money that was being put into actually buying the player. Sorry, buying the club. Sorry, just saw player on the screen. Buying the club, and then additional money put aside for buying players and bringing them in as well. Jones said that the last messages that he was getting were that a big investment would come and would be expected to come in the summer of 2023, which is the end of this season. Parag Marathe, who we've spoken about before on the channel, and who Cam Inman gave us an insight into what he is like as an individual on our interview with him. He is likely to become Leeds' new chairman, replacing Radrizzani. There is a possible rumor that they may look for Radrizzani to stay on the board in some sort of minor capacity, but it's not really clear as to what's happening there. Some rumors said that he would be likely that he would just leave. Others said that he potentially could stay on the board in some capacity to kind of help with the transition and things to set down. But they did say that money has been put aside outside of the initial investment that would be needed to buy the club, which could mean that there's a transfer pot being put together for a big summer in 2023. Fingers crossed. I would like to see it happen sooner than that. I think I'd like to see some investment coming in. A couple of people in chat. We'll get this real quick. We may as well. We're all here. What have we got? Big Mally, Aaronson to Liverpool. We'll get to that in a second. Interesting story. Tyler, doubtful they'd let Aaronson go. So would I. Very doubtful. And Mini Mal Glitch. Morning, Jer. If you're happy to take the 19-year-old left back for short development, appears to be highly recommended. Yeah, he does. I mean, the left back we're talking about here is Vasquez, who has been linked this week. There's a lot of competition for him, though. His bio clause is over 30-odd million. Leeds are looking to try and do it for a bit cheaper, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Cam, unless Aaronson's being sold off for big bucks, then no, he would be big bucks. I would imagine it would have to be big bucks. Definitely be. And A up Napper. Morning, Napper. How are you doing, mate? So we'll crack on, move on to the next bit. So before we get to the Brendan Aronson story, who's scored, who do predictions and kind of use supercomputers and calculators to plan out Leeds season, are they're all ready pulling some stats together for this season. They've produced Leeds ratings for the season so far, and top of the pile, which may not be a surprise to a lot of people, Pascal Stroke, who's playing out of position at left back, is topping the ratings for so far this season with a 7.04. Rodrigo in second place with a 6.96. Rasmus Christensen gives you a 6.88 in third. Aaronson with a 6.72 in fourth. And making up the top five is Mark Rocker with a 6.71. And that is the average ratings that they've received all season put together. But not surprising to see Pascal Stroke. Stroke was on the provisional squad for the Dutch national team for the World Cup, but didn't make the cut. If there are any injuries to the Dutch team over the initial couple of weeks of the World Cup, he may get an emergency call-up, which would be interesting to see. Lee's in chat. Good afternoon, Lee. Sorry, it's not good morning. I'm only out of bed. Good afternoon, Lee. How you doing, mate? Blinky Fish, afternoon. How you doing? And Brad, big fan of the content, and I really appreciate you watching it, Brad. So thank you very much. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Moving on to an update on Stuart Dallas, and this is a great news story. According to Jesse Marsh, the latest update on Stuart Dallas is he is back on the grass and he is training, but he is not doing full contact work obviously yet, but that they hope to have him involved as early as the end of December or into early January. He's making really strong progress, and they're hoping they'll get him back on the pitch before the end of the season, which would be amazing recovery from a broken femur. So brilliant to see. Chris, breaking news. Ivan Toney has denied that the recent betting allegations cost him a place in the England squad and said he's good. He will not be involved in Monday's 2-0 draw. Very good, Chris. Very good. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Ivan Toney, because obviously we saw Jordan Stevens get 6 games and we saw him get a pretty hefty fine as well. And he was about 1/5 of the level that Ivan Toney's gone at here. So it'll be interesting to see is there a Leeds bias from the FA here, or will Ivan Toney get the book thrown at him for when the season resets? They'll probably give him a 6-week ban, and they'll do it during the World Cup. So it's a week ban, not a game ban, and he missed no games. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it definitely didn't help his England World Cup calls, did it? Who are we to speculate? Anyway, moving on to the story that everyone's asking about, Brendan Aaronson. So this is an unusual one, and it's an initial link coming out of the US camp. Liverpool could be eyeing a move for Brendan Aaronson, according to the USA manager, Jim Curtin. Jim said that if you watch Aaronson play against Liverpool, you could tell by Jurgen Klopp's body language that he liked him every time that Brendan did something. He said, look, I wouldn't be surprised if there's interest in him. Brendan Aaronson is a Liverpool fan. Or was a Liverpool fan. He did talk about a dream. It was a dream come true to play at Anfield. So they'd be interesting there. But he said, Jim Curtin said, don't be shocked if Liverpool do make a move. Jurgen Klopp's under big pressure. Yeah, and we said this during the week, talking about other players Liverpool were linked with, and you're looking at, do FSG make money available during this window? Because, they're selling the club. So what are they going to do? Are they going to give more money into the team, or are they going to let it go? Aaronson is a player that would suit their style of play. Jurgen Klopp likes those attacking players. You could see him very easily fitting into that front three that Liverpool play with him coming in off the right. The signings of Nunes and that haven't just settled in yet. And apparently what it's looking at, and Okafor is another player that Liverpool are looking to hijack and move for. These are different kind of players that might fill the gaps left by Mane. So it's going to be an interesting one to see. I hope that they don't make a move for Aaronson, but there's never smoke without fire. Tyler Adams obviously being linked moves to Manchester United as well. Like, going to Scum would just be a red flag in all senses of the word. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll have to see what happens there. We'll keep an eye over the next couple of weeks, but it'd be shocked if Brendan Aaronson doesn't have a decent World Cup, that he comes back without interest from a lot of clubs. Leeds had this Leicester model, which, as we've already discussed, isn't working for Leicester anymore. Is the next big player to leave Leeds one of the players Leeds just brought in? It's going to be an interesting one. I would be shocked if we sell him straight away. I would hope we get a couple of years out of Brendan before we move. And hopefully we can move to the table ourselves with the 49ers coming in. And also with the 49ers looking at buying Leeds, they're going to want marquee USA players. I don't think they're going to want to let players just leave before they get their hands on the full team. So we'll have to wait and see. And then the last bit of news, I said short one today. Last bit of news is the stats from the Premier League, the most sprints. And this kind of bucks the trend of the rumor that Rodrigo doesn't do enough work on or off the ball. This kind of bucks that trend. The most sprints conducted in the Premier League this season. Mikel Almiron is in first with 356 sprints so far this season. Tavernier at Bournemouth is in second with 287. And in fourth place is Rodrigo with 264. Makes the top 5 of most sprints in the Premier League this season, which kind of does buck the rumor that he doesn't do the work up front as well. So I always say Rodrigo does press. He presses for about 50 minutes, then he gets tired. But he does do some pressing. Last bit of chat before we get out of here. Leeds Yank, no, they need to stay in develop. They do. I completely agree with you. Chris, I see it happening because the pressure Jesse's under, but I hope not. Yeah, same. I would depend on who Leeds intend to replace Jesse with. I think Jesse gets until the end of January. I think he'll get a window. Other rumors, and I haven't been able to substantiate the rumor, so I haven't gone out the stories yet, but there is a rumor that apparently Leeds or a source within Leeds has told another journalist that Leeds are planning to back Jesse Marsh big in January. Wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% convinced about it yet, and I can't find more than one source on it. So until I can find 2 or 3, I'm not going to talk about it, but properly. Mickey D, need the 49ers in ASAP. We need the investment for the 49ers in. We need some money brought in so we can actually do some work in January. Fingers crossed. That's going to be it, folks. Thought I'd do this live this morning. Nice for the couple of people that have popped in to have a quick chat and have a bit back and forth in the comments. I like that. I do enjoy doing this. So, but that's your news. We've got the 49ers investment potentially coming in pretty soon. End of this season, possibly a bit earlier. You've got the Pascal Struijk topping the Leeds rating so far this season. Stuart Dallas update. He's looking really good coming back. He's making great progress and moving back. Guy's a machine. Stuart Dallas is a machine. And then Brandon Aaronson linked to Liverpool. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm not going to log off just until we get everyone's last few chats up. So we'll get these up real quick. Thanks, Stuart. No problem, mate. Yep, great. Tyler, can't wait to watch Aaronson Amazon World Cup. It's the only part of the World Cup that I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to watch most of it. Take care. And you too, Lee. Thanks very much. And Chris, yeah, I heard that. So yeah, but it's photo comments. We have to see if they back him. It's coming home. Billy, Mally, you're setting yourself up for a fall, your fall there. We'll have to wait and see. And Paul, best of luck. Right, folks, thank you very much as always, and thanks for the week we've had. There's the videos from the whole week that are there. If you missed out on 90 news this week, you can go and catch up on 90 videos. And I will be back on Monday morning. No video tomorrow. Back Monday morning with the Leeds news and probably an update on some of the stuff in the World Cup. So massive thanks to everyone again for this week. Really, really appreciate it. If you like the channel, you can like and subscribe. All that nonsense. And I'll see you Monday morning for some more news. Right. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Bye.